Meet Skolola, a 12-year-old street girl with a brilliant mind, surviving unimaginable hardship with her mentally ill mother in Lagos. Despite her pain, she secretly tutors Jessica, a billionaire's daughter struggling at an elite school. When Jessica's powerful father discovers this barefoot genius teaching under a mango tree, his shocking decision changes everything. Grab your popcorn for a heart-wrenching, inspiring tale of hope and transformation. Subscribe and like for more unforgettable stories. This is Skolola, a 12-year-old who has endured more suffering and challenges than many face in a lifetime. Raised on the streets by a mother with mental illness, Skolola had no father, no home, and no one to champion her future. She attended school for just 2 years before dropping out when her benefactor, who paid her fees, vanished. Forgotten and hopeless, yet remarkably intelligent, her life took a dramatic turn one day. She encountered Jessica, a billionaire's daughter attending an elite school but struggling academically. Skolola, the barefoot girl from the streets, became her secret tutor. When Jessica's influential father learned that a homeless girl was teaching his daughter under a mango tree, his reaction was astonishing. So, grab some popcorn, settle in, and prepare for one of the most inspiring stories you'll ever hear. If you're new here, please subscribe and like to support more uplifting tales like this one. Filthy thing, get out of here. A glob of spit landed near Skolola's bare feet. She stood still, accustomed to such insults. The market woman's sharp voice cut through the air again. Is this a dump? You and that crazy woman better leave before I douse you with water. Skolola held her mother, a beanie, tightly as she sat barefoot by the gutter, muttering and drawing shapes in the dirt with a shaky finger. Her mother's wrapper slipped, revealing scars and grime, but Abini was unaware, lost in her own unreachable world. Passers-by glanced, some paused, some stared. One woman stopped, shook her head, and moved on. No one offered help. No one ever did. At 12, Skolola's soul had been weathered by the streets. She no longer cried at the names hurled at her. Daughter of a madwoman, gutter child, curse girl. She'd heard them all. The empty pity, accompanied by a head shake but no aid, stung more. Skolola imagined her mother was once beautiful. On rare clear days, Abini sang old Yoruba lullabies and called her princess. But those moments were fleeting, like stars vanishing before they could be grasped. Most days, Abini didn't know her surroundings, screaming at her reflection in puddles, throwing rocks at shadows, or fleeing from invisible threats. Skolola had no father, no name, no picture. Who's my daddy? She'd asked years ago. Abini's hollow gaze answered, I don't know, the rain, maybe. That ended the discussion. They slept under a broken kiosk near mile 12, soaked by rain or scorched by heat. A flattened carton was their bed, silence their cover. Skolola had forgotten how to dream. Survival was her only language. Morning started the same. Abini woke screaming, clawing at the air. Skolola would hold her, whispering, It's me, Mommy, it's me, then clean her with a rag and gutter water before guiding her to their begging spot. Abini begged, Skolola watched. That was their existence. Sometimes coins fell, but insults were more common. Mommy, don't speak today, okay? Skolola whispered that morning, securing her mother's wrapper. Just sit quietly. But Abini stood abruptly, yelling at a car, Give me my wings. They're in your trunk. The driver honked and veered. Skolola's face flushed with shame. She caught the gaze of a schoolgirl across the street, neatly dressed with a lunchbox, who stared briefly, then turned away, whispering and giggling with a friend. Skolola glanced at her dusty legs, chipped toenails, and dry hands. Her stomach growled, but she ignored it. Hunger was ever present. Yet, deep down, she dreamed of classrooms, raising her hand to answer questions, wearing a uniform, writing in notebooks, and reading undamaged books. She dreamed of being called by her name without contempt. But who would send a madwoman's daughter to school? Who would care about a girl whose mother chased birds, mistaking them for demons? No one. Still, Skolola held on to hope. Watching children with backpacks and neat braids, she whispered, One day, I'll sit in a classroom. One day, I'll escape this cursed corner of Lagos. One day, my mother will smile and know me. Reaching into her bag to count their in 10 note and 3 coins, she heard a hawker yell, "Thunder, destroy poverty." Skolola didn't turn. She hugged her mother tighter and whispered, "Amen." It began with a plate of jollof rice. That afternoon near Oshodi, Skolola crouched by her mother, her stomach knotted with hunger. Abini was silent, rocking back and forth, eyes vacant, lips twitching. Skolola noticed a woman watching from across the street, standing at a food stand with plastic chairs, a table, 2 coolers, and the aroma of rice and pepper soup. Fair-skinned, full-figured, in a simple Ankara dress, her gaze held something other than pity. Skolola looked away, ashamed of being stared at like a zoo animal. Moments later, the woman approached. "What's your name?" she asked softly. Skolola stared at her bare feet, then murmured, "Skolola, where's your mother?" Skolola pointed to Abini, now singing to an empty bottle. The woman's eyes softened. "She's ill, isn't she?" Skolola nodded. "What did you eat today?" Skolola stayed silent. Instead of pressing, the woman offered a covered plate. "Eat this." Skolola hesitated, wary of strangers' motives. "Don't worry," the woman smiled. "I'm different." That was her introduction to Annie Linda. The rice was warm, sweet, the meat tender. Skolola hadn't tasted meat in months. That evening, Annie Linda brought water and soap. "What's your story, child?" she asked, helping Skolola wash her hands. Skolola shared it all. The madness, the market, the school she glimpsed, the hunger, the hopes, the dreams. Her voice broke, but she didn't cry. Annie Linda wiped her hands with a handkerchief. "Come to my shop tomorrow. Help me clean, and I'll feed you." "Deal." Skolola nodded eagerly. The next day, she swept, washed plates, served customers, and observed Annie Linda's quiet strength and warm smiles. One afternoon, under the counter, Skolola traced numbers in the sand. "Annie," Linda noticed, "where'd you learn that?" "From watching a school by the expressway. I memorized the teacher's words," Skolola replied. The woman blinked. "You've never been to school?" "Only for 3 weeks." Annie Bezzy paid, but she left. Annie Linda fell silent. The next week, she brought a new exercise book and pencils. A week later, she did more. 3 weeks on, Skolola stood in a dusty classroom, heart racing, hands shaking, wearing a second-hand uniform from a thrift market, too big, but regal to her. "Behave, oh," Annie Linda said that morning. "Make me proud. I don't have money to waste." Skolola clutched her nylon bag with her book like treasure and nodded. The first day was odd. Children stared, some giggled. But when the teacher posed a question and Skolola answered first, everything shifted. She was brilliant, answering questions older students couldn't, memorizing poems instantly, writing swiftly and precisely. The headmistress asked, "Who taught this girl?" Skolola always said, "Auntie Linda." After school, she worked at the food stand, cleaning, serving, sometimes tasting leftover soup or fruit. Her true reward was Annie Linda's approving nod and "good girl." It was the first time Skolola felt noticed, loved. Then, when life seemed to improve, it changed again. One night, Annie Linda held a white envelope, tears in her eyes. "My sister in the UK got my papers processed after 7 years." Skolola smiled. "We're going." Annie Linda's smile faded. "No, Skolola, just me." Silence fell. Skolola blinked. "What about me?" Annie Linda sighed. "I paid your school fees for this term. Maybe God will send another helper. I've done all I can." Skolola stared at her plate, wanting to beg, "Take me," but only nodded. 3 weeks later, Annie Linda was gone without a goodbye. No one paid the next term's fees. The headmistress said, "Sorry, Skolola, no fees, no school." Skolola lingered outside the gate for hours, clutching her bag, waiting for Annie Linda's return. She never came. Skolola waited until the sun dipped behind buildings, her uniform dusty, flies buzzing, her eyes fixed on the empty street corner. Her stomach growled, her throat burned from dust. Children passed, laughing, met by parents with snacks and hugs. No one came for her. The gateman approached. "Little girl, time to go." Skolola nodded, dusted herself off, and left. Home didn't exist. The kiosk where they slept had a new tenant, a drunk who'd threatened her with a belt. The bakery corner where a beanie begged was taken by glue-sniffing boys who fought onlookers. The streets had shifted. Only her mother remained unchanged, still mad, barefoot, talking to ghosts. That night, Skololo found a beanie by the gutter, feeding a dead pigeon with soggy gari. "Mommy, it's me. Let's find somewhere safe," Skololo whispered. A beanie hissed and slapped her. Skololo wiped blood from her lip and sat beside her. They slept on the pavement amid cigarette butts and mosquito bites. A beanie laughed in her sleep. Skololo stayed awake. The next morning, she donned her faded uniform, tied her books in nylon, and returned to the school gate, hoping for a change of heart. The headmistress saw her and frowned. "Why are you back?" "No fees, no school." "I'll pay, I will," Skololo stammered. "How?" "You and that mad woman barely eat." The words stung. Teachers and parents stared. Skololo's face burned. "Please, Ma, let me sit at the back. I'll be quiet." The headmistress shook her head. "Don't embarrass yourself. This isn't charity. Go." The gates shut. Skololo sat by the wall, crying into her book until the words blurred. Weeks passed. The food stand had a new owner who chased her away. Skololo sold her sandals for N$300 to buy bread and gari. Her uniform turned gray. Her notebooks ink ran in the rain, erasing her notes. She was no longer the bright girl, just another street shadow. One evening, seeking a dry sleeping spot, she saw a boy, about 9, smoking something rolled in paper. "Join us. It makes you forget hunger," he said. She declined, her hunger loud, but her fear of losing herself louder. Her mind was her last treasure, and she believed, somehow, change would come. Despite being chased, insulted, and mocked, Skololo returned daily to City Crest Academy's back fence, a private school that seemed a palace. Its golden walls, polished windows, and students in blazers with stitched names were worlds away from her. Yet she persisted. A cracked window by a classroom, hidden by a mango tree, was her secret spot. She saw the chalkboard, math problems, and vowel lessons, mouthing answers, clutching a broken pencil. Her notebook gone, she wrote on scavenged scraps, flyers, tissue boxes. She stayed until the bell, then fled. One Monday, a teacher spotted her. "Who's that?" she shouted. Skololo froze. A student pointed, sneering, "That crazy girl who follows us." The class laughed. The teacher stormed out. "What do you want? Who sent you?" "I just want to learn." "Please," from outside, Skololo stammered. "Are you mad? This isn't public." "No, Ma. I won't disturb anyone, I swear." "Tell your mother to pay fees first, if you know who she is." The teacher snapped, raising a stick. Skololo ran, tears unnoticed until she reached the next street. Undeterred, she found Bright Scholars Academy, less grand but guarded. She crouched by a broken fence, whispering times tables and English words, correcting students silently. A boy threw a stone. "Which leave? You're distracting us." It hit her shoulder, but she held her tears. Another jeered. "She's crazy like her mummy. Go learn in a mental hospital." She returned daily. One afternoon, a guard grabbed her arm. "Who are you?" "Sneaking like a thief." "I'm not a thief, sir. I want to learn." He pushed her down. "Next time, I'll beat you." Limping away, she gazed at the school's walls, desks, blackboard, unreachable dreams. Under a tree, she wrote multiplication tables in the dust, restarting when the wind erased them. That night, as a beanie mumbled in sleep, Skololo looked at the stars. "God, why give me this mind and block school's doors? Is my brain for suffering?" Only traffic and her quiet sobs answered. The first time Skololo carried a water tray, her neck nearly broke. Barefoot, balancing a rusty tray of barely cold sachets from Mamou's Dorsa shop on credit, she heard, "Don't break any. If one falls or you rest, you pay." She nodded, used to painful rules. The Lagos road didn't care about her age, blistered feet, or trembling shoulders. Only hustle mattered. Selling water was brutal. Women pushed her, boys called her small mad girl, and stole customers. Buses nearly hit her, drivers shouted. She pressed on, whispering 5 naira closer to food, aiming to feed her mother. By midday, her legs shook, lips cracked, body begged for rest. She sat under a faded billboard, having sold 12 sachets in 120. 10 more would buy gari and okra. A man dropped in 200. Buy something, little one. Thank you, sir, she whispered. But a boy snatched it and ran. She chased, screamed, but he vanished. She collapsed by the gutter, sobbing, ignored by passers-by. That evening, she returned to her mother, humming and clapping childlike. Skolola forced a smile. Mommy, I brought bread. Abini looked confused. Who are you? An angel with black wings. No, Mommy, I'm Skolola, your daughter. Abini giggled. My daughter's a star, drowned in oil, they said. Skolola fed her small bread pieces, too tired to eat. That night, by their kiosk, she stared into a broken mirror. Sunburned face, swollen eyes, bleeding lips. Unlike the school children, yet she answered her math whispers correctly. 6 divided by 3? 2, she smiled. Her mind unbroken, her fire alive, she returned to the road, tray full, chasing a chance to prove a madwoman's daughter needn't die on the streets. Skolola shouldn't have been at Queen's Crest International School, with its polished gates, uniformed guards, and air-conditioned SUVs. Its shimmering walls and diamond-like windows were for the elite, not a barefoot madwoman's daughter. But she'd seen it too often from afar, and something urged her closer. With no money or plan, only longing, she slipped through a gap by a drainage pipe, dodging thorns. Her heart pounded, expecting capture, but she went unseen, hiding behind trees and flower beds. She found a spot by a mango tree, peering into a junior classroom's open window. Crouching, she copied words on a nylon scraps with a pencil. Halfway through an English passage, a voice startled her. You're the girl they chase, right? Her heart stopped. She turned to see a girl her age, hair in neat cornrows, uniform pristine, name tag gleaming. Jessica Egu. I meant no harm, Skolola stammered. I was just listening. Jessica tilted her head. Why? I want to learn. Jessica stepped closer. No school. My mother's sick. We live on the streets. Jessica looked at her silent shoes on the grass. They laugh at me, too, she said softly. They call me dumb, say my dad buys my grades. Skolola was shocked. You? Jessica nodded. I don't get class lessons. I sit here alone at lunch. Silence lingered. Jessica smiled. Want to sit? Skolola hesitated. Jessica sat, patting the ground. Skolola joined her. Jessica pulled out a textbook. Can you teach me this? I don't understand. It was fractions. Skolola explained. See, 1/2 and 1/4 need the same denominator. Jessica, wide-eyed, saw a problem she'd struggled with all term. I get it, she gasped. Skolola smiled. You're not dumb. Jessica grinned. You're not just smart. You're incredible. They stayed over an hour. At the bell, Jessica asked, Tomorrow? They'll chase me. I don't belong, Skolola said. Jessica ran off, returning with a guard. This is my friend, Skolola, she declared. She's here tomorrow at lunch. Let her in. The guard hesitated. But my daddy owns this school, Jessica cut in. Problem? He said nothing. Jessica turned to Skolola. Tomorrow, okay? Skolola nodded, stunned, feeling hope, not fear or shame. That night, as Abini sang to a bottle, Skolola prayed by the gutter. God, she saw me, didn't call me dirty or mad. Let me see her again. Don't let this be a dream. She slept smiling, a rare peace. They met daily under the mango tree. Skolola arrived barefoot in her tattered gown, clutching torn papers and a dull pencil. Jessica came in her pressed uniform with a cook-packed lunchbox. From different worlds, under that tree, nothing else mattered. Their friendship warmed like a flame in winter. Jessica laughed more, focused in class. Not because teachers clarified, but because Skolola did. Read like you're talking to a friend, not a robot, Skolola whispered. Jessica stumbled, then succeeded, and Skolola clapped like it was a victory. No one claps for me, Jessica admitted. Skolola was surprised. But you're rich. Don't they celebrate you? Jessica shook her head. Only for my looks or dad's parties, not my efforts. Skolola took her hand. You deserve better. Jessica held tighter, silent. One afternoon, sharing spaghetti and plantain, Jessica asked, "Got a best friend?" You, Skolola said instantly. Jessica smiled. Me too. Her smile faded. What if my daddy finds out and stops us? Skolola paused, spoon hovering. You'll forget me. That's how it goes. Never, Jessica snapped. He'll be mad, Skolola said. Rich folks don't want their kids with girls like me. My mom begs, Jessica. Some say we're cursed. Jessica leaned in. You're not cursed, you're magic. Skolola was stunned. Magic? Yes. Who teaches better than my teachers? Makes me laugh when I'm sad. Makes this place home. Skolola's chest tightened, tears held back. Magic, Jessica repeated. They shared more than lessons and food. Jessica gave Skolola a hairbrush, a notepad, slippers, though Skolola rarely wore them, fearing theft. Skolola shared stories of stars loving street kids, girls finding schools, mothers healed by rain. Jessica hung on every word. For the first time, Jessica wasn't alone, and Skolola wasn't invisible. They kept it secret. No teachers, classmates, or Chief Agu, Lagos's feared billionaire, knew. How could Jessica tell a man of oil, empires, and TV fame her best friend was a shoeless street girl? Under the mango tree, they built a world without names or backgrounds, where a billionaire's daughter and a madwoman's child share dreams. One day, Skolola was late. Jessica waited, checking her watch, 30 minutes, an hour. Panic grew. Was Skolola hurt, sick, chased? As Jessica stood to search, she heard, Jessica. Skolola was there, panting, dirty but smiling. Sorry, my mom ran into the road. I had to save her. Jessica hugged her. I thought you weren't coming. Skolola laughed. I'd crawl to get here. Jessica looked at her. I'll tell my dad someday, I promise. What if he says no? I'll scream until he says yes, Jessica vowed. That night, under a flickering street lamp, Skolola lay by her humming mother, cradling a stone. Looking at the stars, she whispered, God, I've never had a friend. Don't let me lose her. She pulled out Jessica's notepad, its first page a drawing of two stick girls under a mango tree. One in uniform, one in rags, both smiling. Skolola traced it, smiling, and slept unafraid for the first time. The morning was typical. Jessica sat distracted in class, awaiting the lunch bell, fingers tapping, heart racing. Teachers praised her progress, 2 correct literature answers, even noted by the principal. But Jessica didn't care. They didn't know Skolola, the barefoot girl with a brilliant mind and boundless heart, was the reason. At 12:35 p.m., Jessica was under the mango tree with 2 spoons, a lunchbox, and Skolola's favorite biscuit. Then black SUVs rolled in. Students stared, teachers paused, guards saluted. Jessica's stomach sank. Daddy, why's he here? Chief Agun never came unannounced, too busy for surprises. His presence commanded attention. Jessica stood, brushing crumbs, unsure what to do. Skolola arrived, breathless, smiling, barefoot. I'm here. Sorry, I fetched water. Jessica didn't smile, eyes on the man exiting. The SUV, tall, dark, in a black agbada and sandals. Chief Agu. Skolola stiffened. Is that my dad? Jessica nodded. Skolola's smile faded, panic surging. I have to go. Too late. Jessica. Chief Agu's voice boomed. He approached with 2 assistants, eyes sharp, confused. What are you doing here? Having lunch, Jessica said, swallowing hard. With who? He saw Skolola, torn gown, dusty legs, holding a nylon bag and biscuit. His brow furrowed. Who's this? Skolola trembled, speechless. Jessica stepped forward. This is Skolola, my friend. You're what? She helps me, teaches me. Chief Agu blinked. What? Jessica stood taller. She's why I'm doing well. She teaches me at lunch, better than any teacher. Silence hung heavy. Chief Agu stared at Skolola, then asked softly, Who are your parents, child? Skolola's voice cracked. I don't know my father, sir. My mother's sick, begs near Oshity. They call her mad. We're homeless. An assistant shifted. Chief Agu's face was unreadable. Not in school. Skolola shook her head. Why? No one to pay fees. My sponsor left 2 years ago. Jessica grabbed her hand. Chief Agu saw his daughter's grip and softened. You teach her in secret every day? Jessica nodded. I wanted to tell you, but I was scared. Of me? He asked, voice low. Scared you'd stop me seeing her, Jessica whispered. He turned to Skolola, who flinched. I won't hurt you, he said. Show me your mother, please. Skolola stepped back. Don't punish her, sir. She doesn't know I come here. She's ill. I'll stop if you want, just don't hurt her. I won't, Chief Agu said gently. I want to see her. Jessica faced him. Promise you won't chase Skolola away. He looked at the girls, worlds apart, yet united. I promise. 30 minutes later, the convoy stopped on a dusty mile 12th Street. Flies buzzing, trash burning. Skolola pointed. There's Mommy. A barefoot woman rocked, laughing, clothes torn, hair matted. Skolola whispered, That's her. Chief Agu stepped out, crouched by her. Madam, he said softly. She looked up. Did you bring my sky? My wings are in your car. Skolola's eyes teared. I'll help her, Chief Agu said. I know people. She needs care. Please, Skolola said. I don't want money, just her to be okay. He ordered his assistant, called Dr. Aisha. Psychiatric unit, full treatment now. To Skolola, he said, And you? Her heart raced. You're no longer homeless. She gasped. He knelt, hand on her shoulder. You have a father now. Skolola couldn't believe it. Even as they left the street, her mother lifted into an ambulance for Lagos's best psychiatric hospital, Jessica whispering, You're safe. It felt like a dream. She didn't cry or smile, just stared, grappling with a day that began in fear and ended with a billionaire calling her daughter. By evening, Skolola bathed properly for the first time in years. Jessica gave her pajamas. A housemaid combed her hair, stunned when Chief Agu said, This is Skolola. She lives here now. Treat her like my daughter. The household froze. A street girl here? His tone allowed no debate. Next morning, Skolola stood before Jessica's mirror in a crisp Queen's Crest uniform, unrecognizable. Jessica clapped. You look like me. Skolola smiled faintly. It's a dream. It's real, Jessica said. Daddy says you belong. But I'm a mad woman's daughter, Skolola trembled. No, you're my father's daughter now, Jessica replied. Skolola gazed at the morning light. How do I thank him? Shine, Jessica said. Show the world your strength. They entered Queen's Crest together. Matching uniforms, bags, smiles. Whispers followed. Teachers gaped. Wasn't she the street girl? Now she walked with the founder's daughter, no longer sneaking, a student through the front gate. In class, Skolola excelled, answering every question brilliantly. Teachers met with the principal. Where's this girl from? One asked. She's exceptional. The principal smiled. The street, but now family. Chief Agu kept his word. Abini received expert care. Dr. Aisha said her conditions treatable with time, love, and medication. Skolola visited weekly. At first, Abini didn't know her, yelling at walls or crying over snakes. On the 5th visit, she paused, looked at Skolola, and said, You look like the sky. Skolola wept. Weeks passed. Skolola adjusted slowly, waking some nights thinking she was on the street, flinching at raised hands. But her smiles grew, laughter frequent. She spoke in class, made friends, but Jessica remained her sister by bond. They shared everything. Jessica's grades soared. Her confidence bloomed, all because of the mango tree girl. One Friday, Chief Agu called Skolola to his study. She stood nervously. Sit, he said. You've changed my daughter's life and mine. Skolola looked down. I just wanted to learn. He chuckled. And you will. You're my child now, equal to Jessica. He handed her a tablet loaded with school materials. Skolola stared, awestruck. Thank you, sir, for seeing me when no one did. He touched her head. You were never invisible, Skolola. Someone just had to look closer. That night, under the trimmed mango tree, now surrounded by tiles and benches, Skolola gazed at the stars. I'm Skolola, she whispered, friend of Jessica, student of Queen's Crest, and now I have a father. She prayed, God, I asked for my mother's health school friend. You gave all three. I don't deserve it, but thank you. I won't waste this. The girl once called a madwoman's daughter became a symbol of hope, a miracle, proof that love and education transform lives. For Chief Agu, Jessica, and believers in change, Skolola was evidence. The future's doors opened, and she walked through proudly. No child is worthless. Every life has potential. With kindness, opportunity, and education, the forgotten can rise. Skolola's story shows one compassionate act can break poverty and rejection. Greatness isn't your origin, but what you do when seen. Believe, uplift, never judge a child by circumstance. We hope this story moved you. Share your thoughts in the comments. Your feedback means everything. Another inspiring tale is coming soon, so subscribe and turn on notifications. If this touched you, like and share with loved ones. Thank you for watching. God bless.